Welcome to Who's Right, What's Left. I'm your co-host, Melissa Reinhart.
And I'm Matt Neubauer. We're here to discuss some of the important issues that face Americans today and have some civil discourse and banter between friends and parties.
Who's right?
What's left? Welcome back. I'm Matt.
And I'm Melissa.
And today we're going to talk about the City of Fort Wayne's Dora, or Designated Outdoor Refreshment Area, that it was approved by our city council unanimously on December 20th of 2023.
Merry Christmas to Fort Wayne.
Absolutely, absolutely. And now that it's a little warmer, we get to test this out and see how it's going. So have you had a chance?
I have not. And since then, we have a second Dora approved district. Well, actually, it's waiting on approval from the state, but we have two Dora districts now. One around the Calhoun area, or no, the Columbia Street area and beyond, and then Electric Works, which is a big campus here of former General Electric campus for those who aren't from the community. And they're waiting on state approval for that. So we have two areas. They're supposed to be designated with signage. I don't know if I've seen that signage. Have you?
I've seen a little bit.
You've seen a little bit? Maybe one. But
it may sound small, but there are like 17 businesses that benefit from this.
Yeah, I have a list of some of them. There are quite a few. But no, I haven't partaken in this yet. I don't drink a whole lot of alcohol. But I've lived in other communities where this was allowed, actually far more conservative communities than even Fort Wayne. Never presented an issue. People were responsible for the most part, just like they are. And in most other ways, there's always going to be a few, right?
There's always a couple.
There's always a couple, right? And that's why we have law enforcement.
Yep.
But anyway, I'm just curious. This was a topic you wanted to talk about. So tell me why. What?
I think it's a fun topic. I mean, I think it's nice for the city to expand on this a little bit. You know, my love for New Orleans and that vibe downtown, and we seem like we were sheepishly going that way with Columbia Street. And folks who aren't from Fort Wayne is a street that used to be used to have traffic, just a typical street. It's a block long, but now it's a pedestrian mall. It's blocked off, and it's all, you know, there's some attorneys that are still left, but for the most part, it's bars and restaurants. And my opinion, even back in the day when they started this, is they should do something like this so that you could go and
back and forth right.
and visit different establishments without feeling like I'd like to see 5 bars, but I don't necessarily want to have 5 drinks and feel like I've got to buy one at every stop just to, So I think this is a nice. So
is it more about the freedom for you to just walk around with the 1 or 2 drinks and then?
It is for me. At least that's what I like about it. You
Okay.
can get a drink, enjoy something, go talk with friends, take it out into the street. Sometimes the bar's too busy or too loud, and you want to, or sometimes you just want to enjoy the outdoors. And outdoor seating is still limited, so that's nice to be able to grab a cup.
Do you know if that's going to change?
And go the outdoor seating?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. I think it's just stuck with what the restaurant's footage out front is and what staff's willing to set out. I mean,
well, you think there would be a lot more. I mean, the city does not generate revenue from Dora. There's no money gained from this. But it would be nice to see some more park benches or public seating,
It would, sure.
Because there are a lot of people that live downtown now that didn't even 10, 15, 20 years ago, and people walk their dogs, and families too that don't. They're not just, there are pedestrians going through there that aren't necessarily just eating and drinking. So, okay, all right. And I know they have issue labeled plastic cups, or they were supposed to.
So the plastic cups are something I believe the bars buy. I mean, that's at their expense. So part of the catch is, and part of the reason I think this could be done a little better, some of the shortfalls I've heard about are that you've got to buy the cup, which is like $1 more or whatever. But the one
who pays.
So the restaurant buys the cup. So I don't mind, I guess, the extra charge for the cup. But I guess the one issue we had discussed a couple of us at another establishment outside the district, was that if you order a beer at one of the bars, you can drink your beer, but you don't at that bar, and I don't know if they're all doing it, but at that bar you didn't have the option to say, hey, can I finish this outside? Could I get a Dora cup and, finish this on the street or on my way to wherever? You've got to buy it as a Dora drink. It's $1 more because they are putting it in the cup, which I'm sure it's printed. It's beautiful. I get it. It's whatever. But, I don't know. And then you take that out, and then you can take it out of the street. But my understanding is you're not allowed to take that into the next bar, which... Part of that I get. I get there's an Indiana law against bringing outside liquor into a bar.
Sure.
And as a business, I want you to buy my beer. I don't want you to buy somebody else's beer and come over to my place. But it is kind of like, it's not quite as convenient as a to-go cup in that you're finished. You're ordering it with the intent to leave.
It's putting the onus of policing on the restaurant or bar owners, which is, that's challenging, especially on a Friday or Saturday night.
Sure.
Very
Did you
challenging.
get that cup here? Did you bring it in from somewhere else? Now that,
Okay.
Yeah, that seems like a headache. And I think, so I guess for me, I like it. Let's loosen it up a little more.
How so then?
Thus far, well, by allowing that in and out.
No matter where they got the beverage from?
I think so. That's in my opinion. It's,
okay.
I would.
That's pretty progressive.
Competition. It's the American way.
Okay. You heard it here first, folks.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about that necessarily. That would be a big change for Fort Wayne if it was, I don't know if we're ready for the New Orleans vibe here.
Free ball and liquor all the way, all around downtown.
It'll be interesting to see what happens with Electric Works. That campus is really starting to take off.
It is, and I think that it's interesting that they are separate because they are such a distance. Like, I don't know that I would walk to Electric
Between
Works.
the two?
Between the two.
Well, but, at some point they will be connected. In other cities, even like parts of Calhoun and Fairfield, that would all be considered downtown. But here you get a few blocks from the core of the epicenter. Oh, we're not downtown anymore. It's like...
No, it's the railroad tracks.
Yeah, but we really are.
Wrong side of the tracks.
Yeah.
But it's beautiful down there too.
And
I would encourage anybody to visit both. But I do see that being, for now, quite separate.
Okay.
Just because of the distance.
Do you know if there have been any problems associated with Dora? I haven't heard anything in the news. I looked for anything that had been reported, or so far people have been responsible for the most part.
It seems like it. I don't think so. Certainly less trouble than the scooters were back in the day. I've not heard any negative feedback or anything stemming from this.
Okay.
So...
Okay. Well, time will tell, right?
Yeah,
and we'll see if we'll have other Dora areas. Maybe we'll have them in other parts of the city. Not just in the downtown, the different corridors downtown. Maybe we'll have them in other parts of the city. What's to stop that from happening?
True. And I'm not sure why they read. I know there were a couple bars that were interested in, I think, participating. Can't speak for the owners, that were redlined in given the reasoning that, well, we're going to start small, we're going to see how this goes, and we're not going to, include your block, but we're going to do this block. And so,
do you know how those were decided?
I don't.
That'd be interesting to find out.
I'm sure if the government's involved, I'm sure there was a committee. And you got to draw the line somewhere. So
sure.
I understand, within, So we'll see. I hope it expands.
Sure, absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, not a whole lot of disagreement. This isn't a bad thing for Fort Wayne. It's
absolutely.
Working out. I don't know how I feel about just let it all go and everyone can just walk around. I don't think I necessarily feel we're ready for the NOLA experience here, but
right.
You could still fly down there and have that down there.
Yeah. Still,
Matthew. But anyway, baby steps here for Fort Wayne, and I was really surprised that this happened here. And I've lived in other areas, like I said, and 20, 30 years ago, and this was already commonplace there. So cheers to Fort Wayne for getting on board. So Anyway, all right, not a whole lot of disagreement here
No, it
necessarily.
doesn't sound like it.
But, we wanted to talk about something local that's relevant, and I'm sure we'll keep hearing about this periodically in the news, especially if other parts of the city want to get on board.
Definitely. And I am curious to hear if there are any negative feedback or opinion. I mean, you can always hit us up on
Please
YouTube,
do.
and
Please
if
do.
you've got a differing opinion and want to chime in, by all means, maybe we can address that in a future podcast. But don't forget to like and
Or
subscribe.
we can
and check
comment
it out.
on social media. I mean, there's that too. So, all right, followers, thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah.
Thank you for the topic, Matthew.
Thank you.
All right,
See you
take
next
care.
time. The opinions and views expressed on Who's Right, What's Left are Matt and Melissa's solely. They are not necessarily the views of the Republican Party, the Democratic Party, or either of the participants' employers. We'd like to thank our production team at influencer.tv. For more information on how to start your own podcast, check them out at influencer.tv.
And don't forget, you can like us on Facebook and Instagram. And you can listen and leave your 5-star review and share on both Apple and Spotify. And don't forget to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel.
These are important, critical conversations we all need to have with each other for the future of our country. Remember to be polite, make it fun, and we can all agree to disagree.